The border station at Cathara Junction was exactly the kind of place sensible people avoided. Lawless, dangerous, and full of people looking for easy targets or quick profits through violence. Human cargo hauler Marcus Chen was there only because it was the fastest refueling point on his route. Get in, refuel, get out. Don't draw attention. Don't get involved in local problems. That plan lasted until he saw the raiders dragging a Kyrathi woman and her young daughter toward a side corridor. The kind of corridor people went down and didn't come back from. The woman was fighting, trying to protect her child while the girl clung to her with terrified desperation. The raiders were laughing, clearly enjoying both the struggle and the anticipation of whatever they planned to do once they got their victims somewhere private. Marcus's brain ran through all the rational reasons not to get involved. He was outnumbered, the local authorities wouldn't care, and intervening would make him a target. Then his conscience overrode his survival instincts. He approached quickly, his voice carrying command authority he'd learned during his military service. Let them go, now. The raiders turned, assessing him as a potential problem. 3 of them armed with improvised weapons, clearly used to people backing down when confronted. Marcus didn't back down. Last chance. Let them go, or I make you let them go. The lead raider laughed and moved to attack. What followed was brief and brutal. Marcus had 15 years of military combat training, and these were station thugs who relied on intimidation more than actual fighting skill. Within 90 seconds, all 3 raiders were on the ground, 2 unconscious, 1 conscious but clearly reconsidering his life choices. Marcus turned to the Kyrathi woman and her daughter. You're safe now. Come with me to my ship. We'll get you out of this station before their friends show up. The woman, who introduced herself as Veska, and her daughter Lyra followed Marcus to his cargo hauler. Veska was injured from the struggle, and Lyra was shaking with fear. Marcus treated Veska's injuries with his ship's medical supplies, gave them food and water, and plotted a course away from the station to a safer system where they could arrange proper transport to wherever they'd been heading. Thank you, Veska said quietly, her voice carrying depth of emotion that suggested this was inadequate but all she could manage. You saved our lives when you had no obligation to help. Those raiders were going to hurt you, Marcus said. I couldn't walk away from that. Most would have, Veska observed. This station is lawless. No one intervenes. No one risks themselves for strangers. Well, I'm not most people, Marcus said. Rest. We'll reach safer space in about 8 hours. You can arrange transport to wherever you need to go from there. But Lyra, who'd been silent and clinging to her mother since the rescue, did something unexpected. She moved toward Marcus and took his hand with the absolute trust of a frightened child who'd found someone safe. Veska watched this with expression Marcus couldn't fully read, surprise mixed with something that looked like recognition or realization. Over the following hours, as they traveled toward safer systems, Lyra stayed close to Marcus. She accepted food from him, allowed him to check her minor injuries, and clearly felt safer in his presence than anywhere else on the ship. Veska observed this carefully, speaking with her daughter in Kyrathi that Marcus's translator only partially captured, something about trust and recognition and ancient customs. When they reached coalition space, safe territory where Veska and Lyra could arrange proper transport, Marcus expected them to thank him and depart. Instead, Veska made a formal request in standard that was clearly rehearsed. Marcus Chen, I ask that you accept the role of Cathara Vesthal, protector guardian to my daughter and myself. You saved both our lives when you had no obligation. My daughter has chosen to trust you absolutely. This is recognition that cannot be dismissed. I formally request you accept guardianship as defined by Kyrathi law and custom. Marcus stared at Veska, processing what she just said. I appreciate the recognition, but I'm a cargo hauler. I helped you because it was the right thing to do. I'm not qualified to be anyone's guardian. Among my people, Veska explained, protectors are not chosen by qualification or status. They are recognized through the trust of the child. When a child instinctively trusts someone, as Lyra has trusted you since you saved us, it is considered sacred recognition that transcends rational assessment. She looked at her daughter, who was still holding Marcus's hand with evident comfort. Lyra has not allowed herself to feel safe since her father was killed 3 months ago. She has been frightened, traumatized, unable to trust anyone. Yet within hours of meeting you, she holds your hand and allows you to comfort her. That recognition is profound and cannot be dismissed. But I was just helping, Marcus protested. I didn't do anything special. You risked your life for strangers when you had no obligation, Vesca interrupted. You fought 3 armed raiders to protect us. You treated our injuries, gave us food and safety, and asked for nothing in return. That character is exactly what the Cathara Vestal was designed to recognize, someone who protects without calculating advantage. She took a breath. I understand this is unexpected. But by Kyrathi law, when a child demonstrates absolute trust towards someone who saved their life and their parents' life, that person becomes recognized as protector guardian. I am formally requesting you accept this role. What does that role entail? Marcus asked carefully. It means you become responsible for our protection and well-being, Vesca explained. We become bound to you not as property or servants but as family under your guardianship. You have authority over decisions affecting our safety, and we have the right to seek your protection when threatened. She paused. It also means we are obligated to support and honor you, to help you as you have helped us, to stand with you when you face challenges, to be family rather than merely people you rescued. Marcus looked at Lyra, who was watching him with the kind of absolute trust that made his chest tight. He thought about walking away, returning to his quiet cargo-hauling life without the complication of being responsible for an alien woman and her child. Then he thought about what would happen if he refused. Vesca and Lyra would be alone, traumatized, trying to rebuild their lives in a galaxy that had already proven dangerous for them. If I accept this, Marcus said carefully, what does that mean practically? I'm a cargo hauler. I travel constantly. I don't have resources or facilities for. We travel with you, Vesca said simply. I am skilled engineer. Lyra is young but learning. We work on your ship, help maintain your operations, and you provide protection and guidance. We become crew and family rather than passengers. She looked at him directly. You saved our lives without obligation. That character deserves to be honored through our loyalty and service. But the choice must be yours. We cannot force you to accept guardianship you do not want. Marcus thought about his quiet, solitary life hauling cargo across the border systems. Then he looked at Lyra still holding his hand, at Vesca watching him with careful hope, at these 2 people who'd been through trauma and were offering him family in exchange for protection he'd already provided instinctively. All right, Marcus said. I accept, but we're doing this as partners, not as guardian and dependents. You help me with the ship, I help keep you safe. We figure this out together. Vesca's expression shifted to relief and gratitude. By Kyrathi law and custom, I recognize Marcus Chen as Cathara Vestal, protector guardian to my daughter Lyra and myself. We are bound to him through sacred trust, and he is bound to us through demonstrated character and accepted responsibility. Over the following months, as Vesca and Lyra integrated into Marcus's life aboard his cargo hauler, he discovered that accepting guardianship meant more than he'd anticipated, but also brought unexpected rewards. Vesca was indeed a skilled engineer, improving his ship's efficiency and fixing problems he'd been tolerating for years. Lyra, despite her trauma, began to open up with the resilience of children who feel safe. And Marcus, who'd been solitary for years, discovered that having family, chosen family who trusted him absolutely, filled spaces in his life he hadn't realized were empty. During one conversation, Vesca explained more. When you saved us, you demonstrated character worth honoring. When Lyra chose to trust you immediately, She recognized something essential about who you are, someone who protects without calculating cost. That recognition created obligation for both of us to honor you through loyalty and support. I just did what anyone decent should do, Marcus said. But not everyone does, Vesca responded. You risked your life for strangers. You asked for nothing. You treated us with dignity and care. That character is exactly what the Cathara Vestal was designed to recognize and bind to families who need protection. She paused. You have given us safety and family when we had neither. We honor that gift through our service and loyalty, not from obligation, but from genuine gratitude and recognition that you are someone worth serving. Some families are formed through blood and tradition, some through legal arrangements and formal structures, and some are created when one person intervenes to protect strangers in danger, demonstrating character that earns absolute trust from a traumatized child, proving that the strongest family bonds come not from planning or calculation, but from recognition of genuine character, demonstrated through action